Brian, you've got your man, John Askey. What are your thoughts?
No, we're delighted to get it over the line, and I think more importantly as well, we're getting it done quickly as well. We are very grateful to Macclesfield Town for allowing us to speak to John initially, and obviously to help us get this over the line as quickly as possible. I think having been in the Ipswich situation this week where we were in limbo for 48 hours, to put for my side of it, I was keen for them not to go through, but we had to wait a long wait for 48 hours. So we're delighted we've been able to conclude this quickly, and great to get John on board, and I'm sure he'll be a successful manager going forward.
What is it about John that wanted you to bring him to Shrewsbury Town?
I think, to be honest with you, we've been monitoring the managerial situation over the last year or so, especially with Paul being linked with so many jobs. So you always had to have a plan B, and you have a list of ones that potentials that you maybe would look to try and push for. And John was on both my own list and the chairman's list too. So I think John's got a lot of attributes which, excuse me, he's done exceptionally well on a very, very low budget. He's totally punched above his weight in the National League. He's been there for 5 years, so obviously is in his current role. He's been at the club for a long time. There's a lot of loyalty there. By all accounts, he turned down Grimsby earlier in the season because he wanted to try and win the league for Macclesfield, and sometimes it would be easier to jump when at that situation, but he showed loyalty to stay on. I think he obviously gets the best out of players from everybody tells me, and obviously since I've met him, he's very honest, very straight, and I'm sure he'll be a good fit. And in a lot of ways he's actually quite similar to the Paul Hurst mould, shall we say, when we brought Paul here in October 2016. Somebody who's ambitious, who wants to do better, who can get the best out of a squad and punch above his weight.
When you spoke to him, what impressed you?
Just his, at the end of the day, everything that I'd heard about him, everything I'd read about him was true. Very calm, very honest and straight, and sometimes that can be a major characteristic for a manager, because I think players deserve honesty, and you can see straight away that he was going to be honest with us from the start, and I'm sure that kind of honesty certainly makes a difference to players and how they react.
In terms of the dealings with Macclesfield, has that all been very easy to sort out?
It's never quite straightforward, but to be fair, yeah, no, we've managed to resolve it within a quick period, which is great. As I said earlier, it's important that we try and, from everybody's point of view, we wanted to act quickly after Paul had left, and I know I spoke the other day about not wanting to put timescales on it, but obviously in the back of my head and the chairman's head was we wanted to appoint sooner rather than later. We're already 2 weeks behind where we were this time last year with the playoffs, etc., and then obviously having lost most of this week as well with Paul going as well in the limbo situation we were in. It was important that we got that done quickly, and I think, to be fair to Macclesfield, they were amenable to it. They were quite openly said that they were happy for us to speak to John. I think they realised that they expected a call at some point again to be able to speak to another club, and I think he's been such a good servant to Macclesfield Town that they didn't want to stand in his way when there's an opportunity to move up the leagues.
There is just 4 weeks now before the team come back for pre-season training. How important is it that the background, all the work in the background, starts really motoring now?
Oh, I think it will be full steam ahead from now. The phones will continue to go constantly, I'm sure, and John's already, and even within the last number of hours, he's been talking about trying to look forward. He obviously will need to settle in as well. He obviously going to meet. He's with Danny and Chris Skitt today, just now, having a chat about how things are. He'll have a look around the training ground, which he obviously hasn't seen as yet. I think things will move on. I think he'll have ideas in his head. He'll assess the current players we've got, and what positions are required. But he's already probably a step ahead of the game with that, because he's been thinking about it for the last number of hours.
We've got a decent squad in place, but he'll want to bring in his own people. Can the club back him in that way?
I think we always back managers, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, whether it's Mickey or whether it was Paul, we always tried to help in any way we possibly could. And we've told him, the chairman and I, when we met him, that we would be happy to support him in any way we possibly can without getting into debt, obviously, but which won't be an issue. But we want to support him. We'll look at any players that he wants to bring, but hopefully he can look at he knows the market, is experienced enough, has been a manager, you know, at Macclesfield for the last 5 years. He knows even some of the gems that we've actually managed to get over the recent times. But what his philosophy is similar to what Paul and Chris's were, which was hard work pays dividends. And I think he'll be similar in that way as well, that he'll demand players work hard and he gets the right recruitment and the right types to work hard and continue the ethos of what we've had over the last year and a half.
And expectation-wise, Brian, the last season was an incredible season. Can we expect that again, or do we have to sort of temper those expectations?
No, I think we definitely have to temper those expectations. I think last season, you know, I think a lot of people have spoken about it being, you know, once in a lifetime one, and that's not been showing lack of ambition. You know, it's just been realistic. We just have to be aware of that. We don't want to put pressure on John straight away as well. We have had a phenomenal season. But who knows where we can go. We've proven last year that, you know, how far we could go, and with John coming in, I'm sure he'll have his own mind of, you know, how he can take things forward.